everybody, this is Oscar once again from the Side Hustle Playbook, and wanted to do a video on some of the costs that you need to be aware of when you start a Shopify store. Shopify is a great platform to start in your own e-com business with, but I think sometimes when folks are barely starting out or looking to get started with it, they make some assumptions that Shopify is a platform more like Etsy or eBay, where you just put your products up and away you go. But as you guys that have been using it know, Shopify is an e-commerce platform that allows you to basically have your own web store, your own online store for your business up and running extremely fast, but very similar to a Target.com, a Best Buy, in that you can get a store up running without any coding experience or any developer experience whatsoever. So it's great in that you don't have to hire developers, you don't have to hire any coders to get a website up and running. And if you're a small business owner, it is very easy to get started with Shopify and build your store. However, there's going to be some cost. There's going to be things like driving traffic that you're going to need to be aware of before you get started. So today I'm going to give you guys 7 things that you guys need to be aware of before starting your Shopify business, just to make sure you have everything planned out and there's no surprises down the road. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing on your list that you definitely want to go and get is a domain name. The domain name is that www.yourbusinessname.com. With Shopify, you could bypass that, but it'll be yourbusinessname.myshopify.com. And honestly, as you could do that, but it's not going to be very professional. This is what's going to give your business that professional presence. So you definitely want to start out right with getting a good domain name, preferably at .com, but .coms are hard to come by at this point, just because so many folks have registered. So unless you can find something that matches or is easy to read or easy to type, those are some of the key things that you want to think about. You might need to go with a .net, or like in my example, we went with a .biz. As long as that's what you're constantly marketing out to your customers, it shouldn't be a problem. But one of the things to be aware of is the cost of a domain name. So there's various places that you can go to register your domain name. So you can go to Namecheap, we like Bluehost, GoDaddy is another, and HostGator, just to name a few. But definitely go with one that you trust, that's a reputable company. And like I said, those 4 that I've listed have been around for a long time and used by many folks. Cost can go anywhere from $9.95 a year all the way up to $19.95, $29.95 for that same registration. Something that I would recommend is if you do not want to be if you don't want to share your personal information, when you do register, it's going to ask you for your name, address, things like that, and that's what folks can find if they look up your domain name. So you can do what's called a private registration, and that's where it'll use the registrar's business information. If somebody looks up your domain, it's using that information. So one of those things that's nice to have. Usually that's going to be an additional $15, maybe $20, depending on your registrar. But again, add those fees, and that's one of the fees that you definitely want to count on your list to get your business started. Very well worth it, though, and it's going to be that first step to giving you that presence. Number 2 is going to be your Shopify plan. So Shopify is not free, so they have various plans. Their base plan is $29, and that's per month. So make sure you're aware that every month you're going to have to pay that $29. They do give you a 14-day free trial, which helps just to kind of make sure that you know their software, you kind of see if it's going to work out for you. As your business grows, though, you may need to upgrade your plan. So the Shopify Basic is $29 a month. They also have the Advanced plan, and they have another plan that is $79 per month. and then their advance is $299 per month. So you could even get into Shopify Plus, which is if you're making some, a lot of sales, might make sense for you. But realistically, you're going to start at the $29 a month. Try to build your business there, but you're going to be your second cost that you're going to want to be aware of, and add that to your domain cost for the year. All right, cost number 3 to be aware of is processing fees. Shopify, just like many other providers, is going to charge you a processing fee per transaction. Shopify Basic is about 2.9% per transaction plus 30 cents. So you just want to make sure that you are aware of these costs. It'd be the same thing, if you have another platform, but these are the transaction fees that you're going to get hit with every single time. So it's very important that when you're using Shopify, that you understand, just like Etsy, with their transaction fees and listing fees and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that you understand what your total cost is, and that includes your cost of goods, your shipping cost if you're giving free shipping, and these transaction and processing fees. That way you can make sure you have good margin and you're going to make a good profit, because that's what we're all in this game for, is to try to make as much profit as possible. But the last thing you want to do is heavily discount a product and then you get these additional fees, and by the end of it you're in the negative. So understand your processing fee. Shopify does a great job of listing everything for you, so just make sure you understand what your fees are when it comes to the processing. There's also going to be transaction fees, and that's what we'll get into next. Item number 4 is transaction fees. So similar to processing fees, but these are going to be more on the credit card. So depending on whatever provider you're using, you could use Shopify Payments, which is nice in that it's built right into Shopify and makes it very easy for you to collect money and get that money deposited into your account. But there's also, many other popular payment methods or merchant account providers like Stripe. Stripe's one of my favorite ones. We use it not only for Shopify, but for other websites that we have. And again, it's one of those things where it'll handle the credit card processing. It'll then collect it, take their fees out, and then they'll deposit the money into your bank account. Depending on the merchant account that you're using, you're going to pay, anywhere between, 1 to 3, sometimes on the high end, maybe 4%, but that's a little high nowadays. But again, you add that to the processing fee, you kind of start seeing where where some of your margin is going to. So understand your transaction fees. If you're using PayPal, PayPal is great, and I highly recommend you offer it on your store, but their fees are a little bit higher. So you're giving your customers convenience, but for that convenience, you're going to take a little bit more of a hit on that. So understand what that fee is going to be. That way you can, again, you want to make sure you have enough margin so that when all your fees are paid, when your monthly payment is made to Shopify, when you pay your domain name, that you're going to have plenty of profit where you are happy with your business, and your business can grow and you can reinvest money. So definitely make sure you're understanding whichever provider that you're using for your credit cards, that you understand what their fees are going to be. The 5th cost on our list that you want to be aware of is shipping. Shipping is a big part of this business. Unless you're doing digital downloads or digital products, you're going to have to ship your items. So there's many different ways to do it. Some folks highly recommend doing free shipping, where you add the cost of shipping to your price, and that way the customer's happy getting free shipping. Or you can do calculated shipping, or you can do a flat rate shipping. Whichever way you go is, that's going to be for you to test and see what works for you. But you want to make sure you understand what those costs are going to be. I, for the most part, will do calculated shipping, but we will give free shipping after they spend a certain amount. So if they spend $50 or more, then we'll throw in free shipping. Again, we want to make sure, though, that we understand, what would be the highest weight, right, of multiple products to get to that $50. So if you're doing t-shirts, it's usually pretty easy to tell. But if you're doing more physical products that are a little bit heavier, that might cost a little bit more to ship via UPS, then you're going to want to know what those costs are before you offer free shipping. I highly recommend, maybe that initially you start off with calculated shipping, and you want to make sure you have the size of the box measured out, the weight, and you enter all those details to your shipping provider. That way that you're getting the most accurate shipping price possible. The last thing you want to do, and I've been guilty of it many times myself, whether it's on eBay, Etsy, in these Shopify stores that we've done, where I miscalculate my shipping, or I do a deal or a coupon where people get a great deal and free shipping, and at the end of the day, I sold $75 or $100 worth of product and excited, but then when I actually look at the numbers, I realize that I've made a few bucks, and in the worst case, I've lost money by not really fully understanding my shipping costs. So highly recommend that, especially if you're doing heavier items, anything under a pound, you can always go through, USPS first class, which is, probably the preferred method for most folks, especially if you're doing t-shirts, things like that are light. But if you're doing heavier items, that's where you have to look at UPS, USPS, maybe Priority Mail, FedEx, things like that. So those costs are going to be definitely a much, much higher. As an example, if you ship a t-shirt via first class, you're looking at maybe $4.50 at the max on the high end, right? But if you're doing something that's over a pound and you're going over, through UPS, that could be, depending on what part of the country it's going to from where you're at, it could be $15, $16 for that shipment. So you definitely want to understand what your costs are going to be. And if you're going to offer free shipping or offer a coupon, make sure that you do take into account what your shipping costs are going to be to make sure that offer is going to be, profitable for you. I highly recommend doing, free shipping promos, things like that. That's definitely going to help to get that, order number, or the order amount higher in a lot of cases, and it's great when you're trying to drum up some sales. But again, just be careful with it. Make sure you're good to go as far as your shipping prices are set, and that you're not going to get burned. The sixth cost that you need to think about is a Shopify theme. You can definitely use the base theme that you get with Shopify for free, but it is a basic theme. What you'll find in their Shopify theme store is that there's a lot of options that comes with customizing your store, making it look way more professional, higher level, just giving you a better business presence. I don't recommend that you start off by buying a theme right away. If you're just starting out, you can kind of see how business is going, and if it makes sense, or you're getting some traction, you could definitely change it up. Or if you're very confident that you have a good plan, you have a good product where you think that it's just a matter of time while you drive traffic to your site that you're going to start making some good sales, then maybe yes, you want to go ahead and get that theme out of the gate and give you that presence again. Thing with themes though is that you do have to pay for them. The average cost, give or take, is going to be around $150, $165 for a good theme. I think normally the last one I paid for was right around $150. And again, if you go in the theme store, you're just definitely going to see like some of these are really nicely put together, built out for that professional online, e-commerce store. The name of the game here is you want to give people confidence when they go to your store. And if your store doesn't look very professional, your pictures aren't very good, things like that, it's, you're not going to be confident. If you're put yourself in that person's shoes, if you're a first-time shopper, first time you see the site, you may not buy. If you see things that just, look like, look very economy, or just kind of look a little cheap, right? So if you have this professional presence, a very good looking site, you take some time to, put good pictures of your products, that's definitely going to help in giving folks that confidence or being comfortable with making a purchase on your website. So definitely look at themes. Again, though, a lot of folks get into it and they think that it's a free thing, but it's not. The basic one that you get from Shopify is. Anything other than that, anything customized is going to cost you some money. So again, it's a one-time fee, which is great. You don't have to buy it that one time. There's no renewal or anything like that. So if you make that investment of $150 out of the gate, you won't have to worry about that again. So definitely give your Shopify themes a look. Finally, the seventh and last item on our list of additional cost for your Shopify store is Shopify apps. This is probably the one that gets or surprises people the most. There's different, apps that you can get, whether it is, to do upsells, to suggest items, to send emails or add that contact to your email. There's a lot of Shopify apps that are free. And an app in Shopify world is basically an extension, right? It's a piece of software that helps you, try to sort out a specific task. So again, so in the example of emails, if somebody goes to your site, maybe you have a pop-up, maybe they buy something, it'll, you can get that email address and automatically put it with your email provider. For whether it's MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, it'll automatically do that using the MailChimp app. So there are a lot of free ones that come with any type of provider that you have, any type of service that you might be a part of that ties into Shopify. There's going to be a lot of free ones like Printful. Printful has a great app that ties into their software. So if you're doing print on demand, somebody buys a shirt from you, you can automatically tie it to Printful. So they automatically get the order. You don't have to do anything other than maybe if there is a shortage of a shirt that you selected, maybe the color's not available, you might have to make a decision in there. But if everything is fully stocked and you have everything set up properly, you can actually make sales and have Printful fulfill them automatically. And again, those are apps that are free. And you're going to find a lot of apps are free from the major providers, the major services that are out there that work with Shopify. Where they're not free is usually going to be the more obscure ones, or those tasks that you're looking for that might not be, something that a service provider is doing for you. For example, if you wanted to do a pop-up, right? Like somebody visits your store and you want to do a little pop-up from time to time showing somebody buying something. Hey, someone just purchased this product from California or from Texas, whatever. But you've gone to stores where you can kind of see that kind of drums up a little bit of confidence. People see those and, may want to, oh, I want to buy that too, right? But that app is going to cost you some money. In some cases, the apps can be a one-time fee, but what I'm finding more and more is they're becoming a monthly recurring fee. So that could be, $10 a month. And then say that you want to add that spinning wheel. A lot of people are doing that spinning wheel where people can spin it and get a coupon code. You can go like from 10% to 50%. Marketers love that tool, and it can definitely drum up some business, and it can increase your total sales for that one customer. But again, that's going to be another service fee, or another app fee. So you say now you're talking another $20. So say with just those two apps plus your monthly, now you're looking at, maybe $49 a month. If you add, contacts or any other type of customized app, you could be adding another $30, $40 a month to your bill. Another popular one would be the upsell. On the basic package, you don't get an upsell feature. So if somebody buys something, or the suggestion feature, right? Somebody buys a shirt about cats, you want to then say, hey, if you already bought this, or you're going to buy this, what if you add this for, and because you're already buying the shirt, I'll give you the mug with cats for, 50% off or anything like that. That's another app. So, for the average Shopify store, I think that is doing well, with apps and fees, they're probably in the more $75 to $100 range per month rather than just the $29.99. So there's a ton of apps. One of the ones that we used for a while was an app that would give us more options, right? So, Shopify lets you do so many options, whether it's like size, color, and I think you get one or two more than that's it. Well, we had a custom wood product that we wanted to be able to do engravings and different stains, and so we had quite a few more options that we wanted to make available to customers so they could customize the product. Well, unfortunately, Shopify only gave us, I believe, just the two options. So we had to get another app to handle adding additional options. So again, not a bad thing. There's going to be some great apps there that you definitely want to take a look at. And if business is doing good or you want to try to increase your business, some of these apps are great. Especially, I think the suggestion one where it's going to suggest a similar product or something that especially if you're doing like things that are with a shirt, a hat, and mugs, and they're kind of the same. You can kind of bundle and do little bundles like that. Those apps are great. And so I don't discourage you from using them. But again, like we've been talking about this whole video, you're definitely going to want to know what your total cost is with all these different apps, and then add that to your base, add that to your transaction processing fees. If you add the theme, your domain name, add all that so you can get the total cost, right? At the end of the day, you want to know what your total yearly cost is for running your store. And then that way you're, being very careful of what you're charging and you're making sure you have enough profit there. But one of the things that, folks get surprised on is with these different fees and, not realizing that at the end of the day, it's not just necessarily having that monthly fee from Shopify. There's going to be other fees that you need to be aware of. So those are my 7 costs that you need to be aware of when running a Shopify store. Now, with any platform, there's going to be different costs associated with them. One cost that's going to be associated with all of them. And again, this is where Shopify, BigCommerce, doing a WooCommerce site, doing your own online e-commerce or online store, rather than doing an Etsy's going to have traffic there, from folks. They do the advertising for customers to go to Etsy.com. And, if you're, doing good keywords and stuff like that, they might find your product on their platform and, buy your, whatever you're offering, right? With your own online store, that's the kicker. You're going to have to drive traffic to your website. And that's probably one of the harder things, and it's one of the more expensive things. So, these 7 are just, the basic stuff within the Shopify platform. When you are getting into online e-commerce, the big one is driving traffic. And there's multiple ways to do that. Facebook ads, Google ads, using social media and trying to get a good presence. Using influencers to, point people to your website. But those are all going to cost money unless you can build an organic, with good SEO. But a lot of times that's going to take some time, right? So when you're starting your shop, understand that if you just put up a Shopify or any other type of e-commerce shop, no one's going to know it's there. So that's where the marketing, building an email list and things like that. So that's a completely different ball game there compared to these other platforms like Etsy. So when you get into this space, definitely be aware that you're going to have to probably spend some money to get some folks to start seeing your site. And that's where, again, using Facebook ads, Google, can definitely be helpful. But if not done right, you can have very little traffic, and B, it could be very expensive traffic. So make sure that you you definitely don't want to just test things out as far as, with a credit card and just let it go. I would definitely recommend starting off really slow. There's some courses that you can take, and things like that. But even myself, I'm not I don't consider myself an expert, so we try to go very limited budgets, just to try to get some awareness there. And then hopefully, things get shared, organically. Somebody buys something, shares it. We ask people to tag us if they ever take they take a photo, and then we'll send them like a decal or things like that. So different ways to try to drum up business, but that is going to be your biggest challenge. My brother, when he first did his first Shopify store, again, this is why I did this video. He was a little surprised with the different fees and trying to get, the apps and all that good stuff. But then when he did all that stuff and had the store perfect, he was so happy with it. It looked great, but nobody bought anything. Nobody knew it was there. And that's the part where he was like, oh man, I didn't realize that. So, so little by little, we've been advertising and, getting that Instagram account and getting more and more followers. But it's not easy. And especially if you've never done it before, you could lose a lot of money. So definitely be careful with that. When you do any type of advertisements, make sure you have a fixed budget for that campaign. That is what I recommend. And then make sure, again, you add that cost to your total costs for this store, so you understand at the end of the year how much money did it cost you to run your business and how much money did we make. If you can break even, early on, that is awesome. And then hopefully from there you can get some traction and keep it going. But that's pretty much it for this video. Again, if you want to check out our website at sidehustleplaybook.biz, you can check out our blog there. Any questions, as always, you can send me an email or leave a comment in the blog, and we'll definitely do whatever we can to help you out. Until next time, have a great one.